Now, before our daughter was born, when we started getting close to the due date, my wife would start playing the what if game. She'd turn to me and ask, "What if I went into labor right now?" And I felt like I had a comedic obligation to come up with a creative answer every time she did that. Like one time we were sitting at a restaurant and she turns to me and says, "What if I went into labor right now?" Well, I guess I'd have to go up front and ask for a kids menu. Another time we were at the pool. "What if I went into labor right now?" Well, obviously you can't go into labor right now because it's Adult Swim. You'd have to wait at least 10 more minutes. So our daughter was born in a hospital, and she's beautiful. My wife, my amazing wife, did a natural birth, 42 and a half hours, which I have absolutely no jokes about. And if I did, I would take them with me to the grave. Now, I'm trying to be a good parent, but it's hard to be a good dad and a comedian. My wife does an amazing job as a parent, but honestly, I think she might oversell her sense of intuition at times. For example, sometimes when our baby is crying, I'll get up to go down to the basement to go check on her. Okay, I'm just joking. We don't keep our baby in a basement. Put your phones away, it's just a joke, okay? So our baby is crying. So while I'm leaving the room to go check on her, my wife will give me advice. Now, her advice really shows how confident she is in my abilities as a provider of the household. "Hey, honey, if her pacifier fell out, you might want to put it back in her mouth." "Thanks, Special Agent Mom. I'm no rocket surgeon, but I think I would have figured that one out." There's a baby crying in the crib. And I see her pacifier right there. Baby crying. It almost looks like she's reaching for... Maybe she's cold. I was a little concerned about our daughter at first. She always looks like she was watching an imaginary fly. I didn't know if that was normal or if maybe she was seeing things that we weren't. Now, why do we always compare our babies, the creatures designed after our own flesh, to animals? "Oh, look at you, you little monkey. Oh, look at the little piggy eat. I am a baby girl. Mom, you've been watching too much Animal Planet." No, we don't do that to other adults. "Hey, Frank, you flying squirrel monkey, can you come look at this briefing with me?" I think it's funny when babies are first learning to talk. People will agree with anything they say. "Goo goo gaga?" "Yes." "Agoo." "Indeed." The problem with that is you don't realize what the child is actually trying to communicate. "Hey, Mommy, do you want me to start crying in the middle of the night every time I hear a car drive by?" "Yes." "Daddy, do you think it would be wise for me to spit up on anyone that comes over to the house wearing a suit?" "Indeed." I like when people come up and compliment us on our baby. I like to say, I don't mean to brag, but we actually made her. In all fairness, we did find directions on Pinterest. I don't really know how to respond when someone compliments something that I have very little control over. For example, if I'm in line at Target buying a shirt and someone says, "Hey, that's a nice shirt." I didn't make this shirt. I'm not wearing this shirt. I haven't even bought this shirt. It's not even mine. I know the shirt can't respond for itself, which leaves a burden on me to respond. So we instinctually take credit, don't we? "Oh, why thank you. I saw it and put it in my cart." Well, technically it's not my cart. I'm just borrowing it from the store. You know what? Maybe you should just take your compliment, the cart, the shirt up to customer service, because I don't know how to respond. The problem with having a child of my own, my mind immediately goes back to when my mom used to tell me, when you grow up, I hope you have a child just like you. Now, at the time, spinning around in the mud wearing my Easter suit, I thought it was the utmost of compliments. But now I'm thinking the comment may have been intended to be a negative one. Now, I'm sure I was a handful as a kid. For example, my first day of preschool, my teacher asked me, Douglas, when is your birthday? September 21st. What year, Douglas? Every year. What kind of crazy rotating calendar do you have? Now, I went to a Christian preschool, so we would actually pray and they would read the Bible to us. And honestly, I thought they were calling it priest school and that they were training me to be a priest. My teacher eventually set me straight and said, Douglas, I don't believe that God has that calling on your life. Now please let go of the cat's tail and come down from the rafters. I remember I used to get so fed up at school. One day I came home and told my mom I was dropping out. My mom looked at me and said, Doug, you're in second grade. What would you do for a living if you dropped out of school now? So I looked up at her and said, well, I would teach first grade. Now I'm the youngest sibling of the family. And what do people say when you're the youngest? Oh, you're the baby. You're the baby of the family. I'm not the baby. I'm the grand finale. The closing act, baby. Now, when you're the youngest child, sometimes you'll run into teachers that knew your older siblings. The problem is when the teachers assume that all the siblings have the same mannerisms. Oh, you're David's brother. He was so well behaved. Such a smart kid. Yeah, you're going to be disappointed. Did anyone have a lunchbox as a kid? That was quite a bit of a commitment for a 6-year-old, wasn't it? You had to pick something that you were committed to liking the entire year. Or if your parents were cheap like mine, for the next 6 years. Did anyone here pick out the wrong lunchbox? Yeah, nice My Little Pony lunchbox, Doug. I thought they were dinosaurs.